Happy Monday.
Same to you.
Jay, the King Kingsley. Anybody ever call you that? The King?
I've been called a lot of stuff, Greg.
I like that. You know, your first initial and your last initial, do you know how many points those would both be worth in Scrabble?
No idea.
Okay. I think the J is worth 10 and the K is worth 5.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So, you know, you're the King. Your first and last initials worth 15 points. Double check that, will you, Gene? Just want to make sure. I think, yeah, the J is 10. Jay, it's great to talk to you. You are the president of Cotality, formerly CoreLogic.
That's right. That's right. Our CEO, Pat Dodd, says this year we no longer append the formerly known as. We aspire and proudly carry the Cotality flag now.
He's got great vibes. I'm not sure I've ever had, and my interactions with him have been brief. I've not been more impressed with many people in mortgage in terms of his brain. The guy is so intelligent. Please send my regards. Maybe he'll even watch this. We'll make sure this gets in his hands.
I will send my regards. He has a high regard for you as well.
Cotality. Let's just start there. The name change. CoreLogic was a very, very well-known name. What went into Cotality and what does it mean?
Look, I've been with the company for 15 years. Time flies. You wake up and start counting in double digits on the number of years you've been here. But take great pride and have always been impressed by the professionalism, the scale, the capabilities of the company. But along our journey over the 15 years that I have been here, once upon a time, we were much more of a siloed company operating in discrete product spaces. But I think 5 or 6 years ago, we started on a journey really to harmonize a lot of the technology, a lot of the capabilities, and bring together really a purpose around how we serve the property industry, how we serve property professionals. And, our mission now is to make the property industry faster, smarter, and more people-centric. And the vision really, there's purpose behind how we serve the global economy and the vision to fuel a thriving global property ecosystem and a more resilient society. So as that journey progressed of moving all of our tech to the cloud, putting all of our data assets into a single database, it really started to unlock and unleash sort of insights around property and how we can serve, whether it's real estate, mortgage, insurance, or the broader global property ecosystem. And so we renamed the company. If you think about Cotality, I want you to think 3 words. I want you to think collaborate. We're a client-first serving the market company. The second thing is totality. So while there's nobody out there that knows more about property than Cotality, but importantly, the third word, besides collaborate and totality, is vitality. And we know the importance around what property means to our communities, to our economy, and there's an important purpose that we serve there. So it was sort of on that journey of coming together as a single company, unlocking that view on property that really inspired the name change and a lot of capabilities now that are accelerating.
Appreciate you unpacking that for us. So really, at the end of the day, it's not about the name; it's about what you're doing, right? What's underneath the hood. So let's dive into that. You want to make it more people-centric. You just said a moment ago. What does that mean?
There's 2 pieces to that. One, we serve over 1 million property professionals that every single day are working in workflow platforms, whether that again is in real estate, whether that's a loan officer or a processor in mortgage, or a repair contractor in insurance. It continues to be a people business in terms of the number of property professionals that need intelligence, need data, need insights to get their job done. But we also realize, again, that there's a homeowner on the other side of this. And while we are not a B2C company, it's important that we are able to instill trust with the fidelity of our data, with the quality and responsiveness of our workflow tools, because it is the most important financial transaction in somebody's life. It's on the other side of that, and we're often sort of an invisible set of hands that are enabling that transaction to happen. and that life cycle relationship of a homeowner with their home in the different areas that we play.
Yeah. So you said nobody has more property data than you. So what is the mission now? What are you trying to do with that data to get further up in the funnel? Because everyone is trying to do that right now, right? We see a lot of integrations from real estate to insurance to title to mortgage to servicing. And I know you've got your eye on the same ball.
Yeah. The mission is to make the property industry faster, smarter, and more people-centric, and sort of talked about some of the aspects of that. But I do think in that journey of becoming Cotality, in our history, I think we were probably known in the mortgage industry as a little bit more of a back of the shop entity, whether it's helping deliver tri-merge credit reports, whether in the underwriting process, delivering a flood zone determination, or helping facilitate the ordering of an appraisal, providing an AVM, or even post-closing around being the leading provider of tax payment services to an escrow department. But as we went on that journey, again, to put our tech stack in the cloud, to consolidate all of our data, there's a lot more that we're able to unlock in the front of the house. Lead gen, retention, recapture. There are insights about the property and about the homeowner that in a increasingly sort of competitive mortgage space with changing business models, you hear more and more today about the importance of that relationship with the homeowner, with retention and recapture metrics. And we're finding more and more ways in which we can serve that front of the house capability around marketing, around lead gen, around retention with the data that we have.
Interesting. So you're trying to get up there too. We all are, right? We're all trying to get
important
to be top of mind earlier on. What is one particular area you want the mortgage industry to know about that you feel like is untapped right now, where you just want to get the word out that you have this?
I think it's in the broad category. There's multiple capabilities and products that we're delivering, but it's in that category of retention, recapture, and lead gen. Largely through our Araya platform. We launched the Araya platform a couple of years ago. That really is a window and a lens into all of our data assets, as well as our core AI capabilities. But whether it's market intelligence or loss leads analysis or a one homeowner product, there's a myriad of capabilities. But really, I want everybody to know that we're not just the back of the house efficiency partner, but also a front of the house lead gen, growth, and retention and recapture partner.
And how much market share do you feel like is up for grabs in that space?
I think it's a growing and evolving TAM and SAM. Maybe we'll get into a little bit of AI, but I think a lot of things are sort of up for grabs. So, I'd almost turn that question back to you. I don't even know how to define.
I love it. Man. Yeah. Volley it on back. Well, I think it's big too, right? From a lender's standpoint, we're trying to identify the consumer before they even get off the couch, right? What are the characteristics of a consumer that is renting now? How do we figure out, whether they have a growing family, or they've got a pay raise, or something good has happened with their credit, or they've taken on debt, all these things, right? We're all trying to get clear vision. So, and then from a recruiting standpoint, the market intelligence standpoint, we've got less people potentially doing more loans in a move forward world. So knowing who those people are in terms of originators and real estate agents, I'm assuming that is all packed into that market intelligence feature.
Yes, absolutely.
Got it. Okay. So the Discovery Center, I was there, and oh man, is that impressive what you have. And I was there about 8 months ago around one of the Housing Wire events, because you're located in Dallas. I really appreciated the invite to go in there, and I saw Araya, and I saw what you were doing. So many things really stuck out to me. The age, I think, of every roof on top of every home. You've got risk scores based on potential for climate impact. You can identify plots of land that are being bid on by builders before they're even purchased. There's so much there. What is the hope you want Araya to be a household name?
Absolutely. Cotality should be a household name. I think our Araya platform should be. And look, I'll reiterate the point I made earlier, which is we're not a B2C company. We're a B2B company. So I don't want to take too many liberties in saying become a household name. We definitely want to be a known name as a trusted partner within the mortgage space. And loved having you at our Discovery Center. We built that because we are a data company, and one of our data scientists that often hosts people starts by sort of admitting that it was pretty boring back in the day to sit in front of a client or an industry partner with a set of spreadsheets and try to walk through the normalized data table of what our data is. And what this is able to do is, the tagline for our name Cotality is intelligence beyond bounds. And there really is just an unbelievable number of use cases, insights that can be unlocked, and being able to do that on a screen, visualizing the data has been really important to us in describing what we can do. I often, one of my frustrations is that sometimes I sit in front of a client and they say to me, I don't really understand everything you do. And part of that is because of the breadth of the space that we play in and the data assets that we have. So it's a blessing and a curse to hear that. But I think our goal is to continue to lean into, as we just talked about, things like retention, recapture, lead gen. How can we unlock some of our technology and our data assets to help in those specific use cases so we make sense of it for our clients?
Is there a particular use case on the front end that's working well right now? One in particular that lenders should think about and go, oh, well, I need to find out more about that.
Again, I think it's the Araya platform and some of the capabilities in there. I think the market intelligence, the loss leads analysis, the one homeowner capability.
The loss leads analysis, what is that?
It's to help you have insights into where your market share is, where your relationships are going in a purchase or a refi, and give you better insights into your customer base and where are the trends headed in terms of where people are doing their mortgages.
Yeah. So let's talk for a minute about climate and natural disaster risk, because that is more in focus now than ever. What are you doing around that to give people more insights into the investments they're making?
Again, in the breadth of capabilities that we have at Cotality, playing in real estate, in mortgage, in insurance, and with that vision to help make a more resilient society, we have, it's really fascinating and it's fun to see in the Discovery Center some of our climate analytics and hazard data and technology. I'll tell a quick story because in my 15 years here, one of my roles at one point in time was to lead our insurance and spatial solutions business. I spent some time getting very deep and granular on understanding the data and the use cases and the things that an insurer would want to know. And I got deep on how do you get granular insights on the photography of a roof, and to the point where you'd want to know, is there a broken shingle on the roof? I then moved back over into mortgage and started to talk about the fidelity of our photography on a rooftop. And ironically, some of my clients in mortgage said, I don't really want to know that. And it sort of blew my mind. But then I realized, it's more of an insurance problem than a mortgage problem. Who wants to slow down the closing of a loan? Let the insurer take care of that. That being said, I think we've come a long way. And we're seeing the impacts in the capital markets, in the mortgage industry, around the obligation to let borrowers know what are the hazard risks associated with the property. We have such an impact that's happening to affordability as it relates to increasing insurance costs, increasing tax costs. So more and more, these insights around hazard are really important, not only just for the homeowner, but for, I think, the capital markets and how we think about assessing and communicating the risk, even inside of a mortgage transaction.
Affordability is a big thing right now. You have any opinion, just personal opinion, on what you know about ways that we can bring that more into focus for those that are on the outside looking in?
Look, I think I'm glad to see the frequency with which that topic is discussed. I don't think it's an easy one, and I don't think that there's a single answer to how to fix it. I'm a fan of the concept of the abundance agenda. I think there's everything from zoning changes to building of more supply to even things on the demand side that we can do. One thing that I think we view as this might be a little bit surprising, but for the cohort of potential homeowners that are aging into homeownership age, we've done some surveys. There is actually a lack of trust, especially with the emergence of AI, around the fidelity of the data and the confidence in the transaction. And they believe it or not, I think some actually want to, while they're going to use AI to do some searches and to do some exploring, when it comes down to such an important financial transaction, they want to know that the data behind that mortgage is accurate, and the person that they're working with, that they can trust. So while things like zoning laws and supply and different loan programs will probably be the big irons in the fire there's an underlying need that we as an industry have to also deliver trust to these homeowners that have felt locked out. And we think that we can play a role in helping deliver that high fiduciary grade data and technology that people can trust in their transaction.
Oh, what's interesting when you talk about that trust is, and you talk about AI, the younger generation, Gen Z, they don't really trust AI fully yet. There's almost a revolt going on at the university level on the low end. So we're seeing
comfort in using it, but I think a degree of skepticism, which also there's probably a degree of skepticism in the housing industry these days for that generation as well. And so we need to reinstill that trust.
But I think you may be a little skeptical, right? In talking to you yesterday before we got on here, just preparing, I got the sense that you're one of those people that feels like this idea that the apocalypse is coming because AI is going to be taking over everybody's jobs. I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, you feel the exact opposite. Like maybe it's a little overblown.
I wouldn't go that far, but I do agree. I think that I think
the impact is overblown. It's how it's used is what I'm referencing, and what it's going to do. Will it replace people? Will it be an accoutrement? That kind of thing.
I think that there will be dramatic changes as a result, but I think largely I'm an optimist in how those changes over time will play out and create new opportunities. I think it's going to reconfigure some parts of how mortgages are done, but I think it's going to take time because we are a highly regulated industry that represent, again, the most important financial transaction in somebody's life. Housing is sort of wired into not only being the largest asset class in the world, but it's part of our communities, it's part of our culture. With that, I think there is some thoughtfulness and some responsibility that we need to take with how we deploy AI. I do think it's going to go faster than many of us are comfortable with, but I just think that longer term, there will be more benefits while jobs will change. Some jobs will be replaced. I think there are new ones that will be developed. Our objective and our role is we're spending a lot of time on AI, and I think we can deliver that as high fiduciary trusted data. AI is only good if it's rooted in data that you can trust. And I think we have a responsibility with what we do to make sure that we're presenting that to the industry and delivering that to these transactions.
What's an example of a vision you have for how AI can put data right at your fingertips with a few clicks if you're a lender?
We've got a saying around here that it's been so interesting, Greg. You probably know this even better than me. How long we've been talking about digital mortgage, and the saying that we have around here is that we've arrived at a point where everything is instant, but nothing is fast. And so we've deployed a lot of technology over the years, and there's all of these different things that can be done instantly. Yet the cost to originate a mortgage and the number of days it takes really has only grown. But I think orchestrating and where, again, the blessing and the curse of Cotality and where we play from lead gen to the original application, to the fulfillment and the underwriting. We can help sort of partner across the industry to orchestrate how those things fit together in an agentic workflow over time to hopefully start to shrink those gaps where the pieces of the islands of instant aren't being connected. And we'd love to help connect those because oftentimes we're playing at on each of those islands.
Interesting. So cost to produce, you're right. That is something we think about all the time. And you talk about closing the gaps. These are conversations that you have as an institution, how to lower the cost for mortgage lenders. Am I hearing you right?
Absolutely. I mean, what we are said it before, we exist to help them make the industry faster, smarter, and more people-centric. We want to improve the borrower experience to the extent that we can help our lenders do that. We serve sort of the lender community, and that is a high objective of theirs. And so anything we can do with the data, the analytics, and the workflow we provide, that's absolutely a goal of ours.
For you personally, your background, you've sat in a lot of seats, consulting at AT, Kearney, and Ernst & Young, strategy at Allstate, default servicing at HSBC. Now, of course, the president of Mortgage Solutions, president of Cotality. Would you say you're a risk expert?
I'm risk averse as a person, but I do think that the category that I have found myself in over the last couple of decades is absolutely in the risk area. I think the beginning of my career in consulting gave me a foundation in how to frame problems and create frameworks to think. But the latter 2/3 of my career has been really rooted in property, and I've just built such an enormous respect and appreciation for this asset class and how it's woven into the fabric of our communities. It's a large financial transaction and really cool when you go to New York and talk to the capital markets. But at HSBC, I also worked in default, and I saw really how the impact of a home, what it can have on a family and have on a community. And I just think that this is a super interesting space in housing because there aren't many jobs or many areas that have that mixture of feeling like a cool kid in the capital markets, in a large financial asset, but also really having purpose in taking pride in what the housing economy means to a family and a community.
Where were you during the great financial crisis? It seems like that was right before you joined.
I was at HSBC. Who we were back in the day called the canary in the coal mine of the subprime mortgage crisis. Started to report out on first payment defaults. We're one of the first ones to do it. I was brand new to the industry, and I had to have somebody explain to me what a first payment default was. But was sort of cut my teeth in those early days of managing the crisis. As
you look at risk, and obviously you're an expert at that, and you have all the data on properties, and you talk about natural disasters. How do you think about that at Cotality when you look at the flurry of things that have happened in Florida, for instance? Although we're in sort of a calm period now, but it's always the calm before the storm there. How does Cotality look at those hot spots, and how would you encourage lenders to look at them?
So there has absolutely been an increase in frequency and severity of events. You can see that within the reinsurance and the insurance space. And, I think that if you zoom out and take a broader look at property and look at the impact to homeowners, I think the data is becoming more understandable, more available, and we're trying to do that. So I think arming capital markets, arming homeowners, arming lenders with that information is really important because it is something that's impacting homeowners more often than it used to.
How many conferences do you go to every year? How busy are you? Two-part question. I saw you at a conference. I saw you at Housing Wire recently.
I think my Bonvoy app says I'm up to about 90 hotel stays so far this year. So Luckily, my wife and I became empty nesters 2 years ago. So my kids don't have to not have a dad at home. But I'm on the road a lot, but really enjoy it because I think it's an amazing industry with amazing people, and it's a great opportunity when you're on the road to meet with clients and some of the great thought leaders that are impacting this industry.
What's the average day like for a guy like you?
It's no different than any other executive around the industry. A lot of Teams calls, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of thinking through how do we navigate sort of some of the changes that are happening in the industry, and most importantly, how do we serve our clients so that they can better grow their business and they can better serve their borrowers.
How big's your team? How many people report to you?
As a company, we're about a 5,000 person company globally. We've got a couple thousand people dedicated to the products that we have within the mortgage industry.
Yeah, and then like direct reports, people that roll up under you.
I've got a leadership team that's 12 people spanned across sort of the different product areas that we're in, as well as the functional areas. It's a phenomenal team.
Yeah, I bet it is. As a side note, a lot of people have different opinions on this. We talk about it here at NFM a lot. Like, what is your opinion on meetings, on all hands meetings? Are they, do you have to come in prepared to have very strict, narrow preparation and topics, or are you game for an hour or two meeting? Like, what's the lens in which you look at that? In terms of the value that meetings bring, all hands meetings, when you bring, for instance, the 12 direct reports in a room.
I think that personal interaction is invaluable. I think we've fallen into post-pandemic. The Zoom culture we're in can end up a little bit in sort of a back-to-back lull or droning on of topic after topic, and it really takes a lot of focus and energy to make sure that each one of those are being productive. But nothing beats the face-to-face interactions and the quality of dialogue that you can have when you get a chance to get in a room with a whiteboard and to discuss. That's not to say that every meeting has to be that. I think there are each of the types of meetings have a fit for purpose place. But I just love being able to interact with both clients when I can meet with them face-to-face, as well as my team when we get a chance to get together.
You're running a big organization there. What have you learned about leadership in your role?
I learn every day. I think one thing we referenced Pat Dodd, our CEO. He's brought a very client-first mindset to our company, and I think I've learned over the last several years to never underestimate the value of connecting with both clients and employees, not just on the tactics of what's the topic of the day, but understanding their motivations, understanding their problems, understanding how you can help them in what they're trying to achieve. What Pat likes to say is that we're supposed to fall in love with our clients' problems. I think that's a really important leadership trait because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is solve problems for our clients and solve problems for our people.
Yeah, my understanding is when Pat came in, it was siloed, that there was a lot that needed to be put together. You needed to kind of connect all the links in the chain. If you could just for a moment talk about the impact that Pat has made.
Phenomenal impact. And again, I think it's really that client first mentality. I think what he would say is clients are the North Star. And that becomes an organizing mechanism that can break down silos, because if you're organized around solving the problem for the client, all of a sudden any artificial walls that had been in place come down, and you can bring the full power of Cotality or the full power of your capability to solve that client's problems.
I mean, obviously you're extremely articulate, very successful. You're running such an important part of the mortgage industry. There's so much data that you're sitting on. You're trying to get it out there now. So, hopefully this conversation will help to do that. Do you have any vision of getting out there a little bit more? Like when I think about Cotality and I ask myself, who's the face of Cotality? You're a handsome guy, articulate, successful.
Who better? All your guests, I'm sure.
Who better than you to be that guy. No, seriously though. But do you think about that? I mean, do you think about like who is going to be out in front and be the voice of Cotality? Because if you asked me who was right now, I'm not positive that I'd be able to say, oh, it's that guy or it's that gal.
Look, we've got a phenomenal company with a lot of phenomenal leaders. I plan to be part of that narrative and part of that voice out into the industry. But we play on a wide playing field. We're a global company. We have business and operations in the UK and Australia and New Zealand, as well as in Canada and here in the US. But yeah, absolutely, Greg. I would invite inbounds and would love to meet with anybody in the industry. But as we talked about earlier, rebranding as Cotality, we need to get the name out there because we can solve a lot of problems for clients, and it requires sometimes a conversation to get into those use cases and what capabilities we can bring to bear. So wanting to get the name out there and help people understand how we can help.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, have you had to step up your sales force?
We've got a great sales team. We're constantly sort of adding new talent, but it's a wonderful blend of people who have been here for 2 decades and really understand the capabilities and the details and the nuances of where things came from, and a mix of new, energetic people who are bringing AI native thoughts and capabilities. So it's always a mix of new and tenured folks.
Yeah, I just think of when you said it yourself. CoreLogic, Cotality, known more on the back end. Now you're trying to get more on the front end, and to do that it takes an entirely different toolkit, right? And then you look at social media. I just asked you that question 5-10 years ago. If I said who's the face, it wouldn't even have mattered. But today, in today's world, it does matter. It matters a lot because you've got a really important voice that the industry needs to hear. And so, how do you look at that? How do you look at the evolution of social media conversations like this, and how do you view it in terms of an outlet of opportunity for you to get that message out?
Well, one, have a great deal of respect for you and what you do, and you're a great voice for the industry, and I appreciate you giving me and us the chance to join your podcast, Greg. But yeah, we've got a great communications and marketing team. We are working on getting our name and our voice out there more often. And as you asked, we've got a great sales force and people who are well connected in the industry. It's not a one-time thing. I think it takes multiple reps, and over time, I know that what really speaks for itself and always has is the quality of our data, the quality of our products, and the outcomes that we help deliver for our clients, because that speaks louder than anything.
So when you're not running this 5,000 person company, along with Pat and so many other talented people, what are you doing? Well, you mentioned you're an empty nester. I know you're a big sports fan. You're a Michigan native. You lived in Michigan for 18 years. Then you went to Chicago, went to college there. You lived there for 18 years. Now you've been in Orange County, that whole area, for 18. You're the 18-year guy.
That's right. I'm a third. I'm a third Michigan, a third Chicago, a third in California. So I consider myself a Midwesterner, even though I am blessed by the beautiful weather here in Southern California. And I'm also blessed, amazing wife, amazing family, so proud of my kids. A lot of my mind share probably still goes there. My wife and I, as empty nesters, spend a lot of time comparing the metrics on our Apple Watches and who's got a higher VO2 max or has done more zone 2 training for the week. But I'm looking forward to the fall. I'm a huge Detroit Lions fan. My wife went to Michigan. My son and I went to Northwestern. My daughter went to Indiana. So she has one-upped us on the national championship register in the past year with the football team. So, yeah, I spend a lot of my time, again, thinking about family, but watching a lot of sports. And I'm hoping that the Lions at some point deliver me a Super Bowl.
It looked like they were on their way. I mean, it really did. Now it looks like
this year will be a very important one to see if it was if that a couple years ago was a flash in the pan or whether a culture is really being built.
Well, they just had that issue with the cornerback that they cut, that high draft pick, right? And now I read.
Yeah, Terry and Arnold. It's an indication of the culture. They're not going to tolerate having things that are a distraction to the culture. And
yeah, so I read yesterday that somebody, one of the NFL talking heads, thinks that Dan Campbell, the head coach, is now on the hot seat. Like if he doesn't win this year, he's going to be let go.
We'll see. I'm 54 years old. I've had many more losing seasons than winning seasons. So if I have to tolerate a few more, it still is a fun thing to watch.
Is Jared Goff a top tier quarterback?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question.
He's not. He's probably not watching, so you're safe. What do you
Yeah,
think?
right. I love how the city has embraced him, and I think culture actually is extremely important. And I think he's done an amazing job occupying sort of a leadership space that's embraced that culture. And so I think he is. I don't know whether he's top tier.
Top 10? Top 10?
Yeah, I think he is. I actually do think he's top 10.
Interesting. He seems like a system guy to me. I mean, Stafford to me, Matt Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks ever.
I agree, and I am super happy that he got it. He deserved a Super Bowl, and so I was rooting for him, and I still do.
He might get another one with Myles Garrett there now.
Oh my gosh!
And if Donald comes back, Aaron Donald talking about coming out of retirement, that would be a ferocious defensive line.
It will be very interesting to watch what happens with.
Are you a Tom Brady fan? You went to Michigan, right? Oh no, you went to Northwestern, but you went. Yeah.
I am a Tom Brady fan. Tom Brady fan.
Well, you got a lot of interest here. You're like Stafford, you like Brady, you're like my wife. She likes a little bit of everything. But at the core, you're a Midwestern Michigan guy.
That's right.
Right. That's the takeaway. I did meet Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not sure if you've ever met him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I went to my brother's an agent in Hollywood. One of his clients is Quavo, the rapper, and Quavo has this nonprofit thing that he puts on in Atlanta every couple of years. So I got in between the lines, inside the ropes, and Amon-Ra was there, and he and my son had a catch. I've got it on film. He was
that's awesome.
He was so wonderful and nice. And that, his story, right? Him and his dad was a world-class weightlifter, and his two brothers, they all made the NFL. It's really interesting stuff. But my point is, he's a good guy.
He embodies the culture. I hope he retires as one of the all-time greats of the Lions. My pictures here it's a Nolan Ryan, Jerry Rice, and what you can't see is Barry Sanders. These are the Just Do It ads from the 1980s, and so Barry Sanders is sitting next to me, and so maybe Amon-Ra is going to be there someday.
Do you remember when Nolan Ryan kicked Robin Ventura's ass?
I do.
That was awesome, man. The headlock he put him in. Yeah. So real quickly, we're on the topic of baseball. Ohtani, is he like one of the greatest to ever live? How closely do you follow him?
The 84 Tigers were very important to my youth. As I've aged, it's harder to follow a 162 game season.
Yeah.
I have not seen Ohtani in person, but I'm dying to do so. I want to see Wemby in person. I want to see Ohtani in person. I think he's otherworldly from everything I can see, and it's amazing to watch.
So I'm guessing you've seen Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker turn more than one double plays in your lifetime.
Absolutely.
Rusty Staub.
I do remember the first named baseball bat I ever had a Rusty Staub signature on it.
What if I knew that? No, I didn't know that. Jay, this has been great. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the window into what you're doing at Cotality, and I'm looking forward to helping you get the word out. This is just the beginning.
Great. Thanks, Greg. I really appreciate what you're doing as well.
It's my pleasure. Enjoy your Monday, everybody. You've been watching One on One. We'll see you again next week.